Wrong one. That's a good start, isn't it?
I was about to say I wouldn't.
We've got Polly, Rachel, and Kirsty
Yeah, I know.
again.
It's been one of them days. It's good evening, everybody. Good evening. I hope everyone is well at home and enjoying their day. Tonight, I have two wonderful guests joining me here on SPTV and my show, Richard, and guests around the table. Hopefully, we'll get round the table one day and have a nice cuppa and get to know everybody properly. But for now, we're stuck at home still, sitting around your own table. But I'll let everybody introduce themselves. We've got Jacey and Marcus. I'll let the ladies go first. So, Marcus, how are you?
Oh, dear.
Go on, Jacey, off you go. Tell people about you.
Hi, everybody. Some of you might have met me the other night while I was doing ribbon readings, but I'm a spiritual medium first and foremost, even though the ribbons do come as a nice add-on and tea leaves. I saw Marcus do something with leaves the other day, I believe. Was it? Coffee grains. I kept missing.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And one or two other talents sort of sneak in there that don't always come to the forefront, but basically spiritual mediumship's my game and I love it. Absolutely love it. Been doing it I don't think I've been doing it quite as long as Marcus, but we know one or two people, even though we've never met personally, and we were going back a long while just.
Yes.
Remembering somebody that's long passed into spirit. So, yeah, been about a bit too long these days. So it's good to be here, and it's lovely to be able to join Marcus and Richard and just sit and talk. So it's my
good
talent. Go for it, Marcus. Sorry.
It's okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marcus Lapsa, and exactly the same as Jacey. First and foremost, I'm a spiritualist medium. Developed my mediumship in and around the spiritualist churches, and I was doing a psychic pantry the other night, and in fact, I saw Jacey's because I was watching you doing the ribbon readings, and we just been having the chat. And the beauty about SBTV, Spiritual Psychics TV, is that we get to meet other mediums, because in the years gone past, we've just been talking about a mutual friend that we were both very close with. But the problem is, years ago, you just see someone else's name on the board. So it's absolutely great. Yeah, it's absolutely great to be here tonight and just to have a chat around the table with Richard. So,
well, I think what we do is hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I have turned myself up. I won't say what I did say the other day about turning myself on. That just did not work. And I actually said, the first week, JC and Marcus, I actually said, welcome to Around a Table. And I've got on my table Polly. And I realised what I've just said. I thought, oh, God. So for 5 minutes, I'm giggling away like a little schoolboy. And Polly and Kirsty and Matt had to take over. So I've got to think before I speak. Jeez. Anyway, let's do some hellos. So we've got Terry Wall. Hi, Terry. Thanks for coming on. We've got Christine as well with us.
Hello, Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Christine's a regular.
Kim. Oh, I can hear myself. Have you got headphones on, Jacey?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear myself.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Yeah, and me. I've got earpods.
Oh, right. Okay, it's just me then. So we've got Veronica on. Hi, Veronica.
Hello,
thanks so much for coming. We've got Alison here.
Hello, Alison.
Alison, hi.
And we've got Christine
Noberto.
Yeah. She's from Brazil, by the way.
Brazil,
very nice. Very lovely. Christian. Yeah.
Oh,
my daughter's name's Christina.
Yeah. Hello to Mary Dixie.
Mary Dixie.
Hi, Mary Dixie. Good to see you again.
We've got Stephanie.
Stephanie Ewan.
It's going to be one of them notes for me that I can feel it already.
I'll be honest, I can only see
Is that
part
pink
of...
hair you have in that photograph, Stephane? Is it Stephane or Stephanie? Can we pronounce it Stephanie?
We used to call it Stephanie. I thought it was some.
I'm sorting
I don't
rocks.
know.
I thought she was snorting rocks then. That was if my eyes were terrible.
Well, I can only see...
That's
I
some
can only
nose
see
you've
part
got
of
there.
We just know you.
Part of it.
Kelly, hi.
We'll have to do all the hellos
Hi,
for you
Kelly.
there, Marcus, I'm afraid.
It's
No,
nice
no,
to
it's fine.
see everybody copying my name rightly. You know, like there's so many people spell it wrongly. It's lovely to
Did you
see
just
it
say
all.
wrongly?
Wrongly, yeah.
Wrongly. Wrongly.
It's just if
I
I read something out and I don't read the full sentence, it's not that I can't read, it's that I can't see it.
No, that's okay.
Stop.
Hello to Rachel, who's all the way from the US.
Oh,
Our lovely Rachel.
Oh, my
Hi,
Who does our
Rachel.
palmistry on a
My
Tuesday
fave.
evening.
My
Keeps
fave,
me
Rachel is.
very busy. You should not have favourites on this channel, Marcus, now.
Well,
Spiritual medium Deb Clark. We've got
Deb,
here.
very good friend of mine, Debbie.
I don't know Debbie.
He's showing off
Don't
now,
know
look.
her at all. Don't know anybody.
We've got Amanda.
I don't know anybody.
So-
See, like, Marcus has got alternative input here.
Yeah, sorry about this.
Spirit
My
of love.
okay.
Hello, everybody.
We've got
Shiloh
Shaylo.
Star. Hi, Richard. She
We've
says.
got Stace Shaw, who's here with us. Stace is in the house. Get down.
Hi, Stace. Yeah.
Yeah, so Stephanie is saying, yes, it's pink. I wore on my first bait at the school.
Oh, wow. It's very brave.
Yeah. So that's who's saying hello at the moment. I'm going to leave the comments automatically because I have a very bad habit. When I'm talking away, and yes, I can talk, I can let the comments come up automatically, so then you guys
Good.
can see the comments. So fingers crossed we'll be able to see that as well. But some good news. Or not,
Yeah.
depends how you
Wales
look
are
at
playing
it.
tomorrow. That's good news.
Well, even better than that. I don't know if it's good news or bad news, and I don't know how long it's going to last. I was actually allowed, after 5 months,
Stephanie.
to get on to Facebook.
I think I've heard this story.
Well, it only happened like an hour ago. So, you know.
Oh, no, because you were told the other day, wasn't it, that you were allowed back on or whatever for some comments, but then you couldn't sign in.
Oh, no, not on Facebook. No.
No, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. So I'm back on Facebook. I don't know how long I'm going to be on Facebook, but what I've done in the meantime is quickly told people on there that these are our pages, that where we are. This is our YouTube channel.
Wow.
So hopefully people will think, oh, he's alive then. He's not dead.
This is on, what's the page called? Is it Spiritual Psychics TV?
Yes.
The same as here?
Yes, Spiritual Psychics TV
wow.
on Facebook.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
I've made Terry and Ashley
Nice.
and Deb Clark and one of my friends as admin, everybody else is editors. So if I am kicked off, at least we can still post and stuff like that on there until they're kicked off. Hi, Julie. So yeah.
Hi, Julie.
So,
Hi, Julie.
Shiloh, the topic for today is, well, it's an open topic, really, because this is what this show's about. Just imagine if you're going out with your friends and you're having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever, in my case, water. You're just chatting and you're talking usually a load of rubbish, to be honest with you. So this is what the show's about. I am speaking for myself. So yeah, but I was talking to Marcus on Wednesday about time after his show. And yes, I did go off on one, and I thought I'm going to mention that. So I invited Marcus on, because Ivan Lee was meant to be on tonight, but sadly had other things happening. But he does send his apologies and hello to everyone. But what I was talking about was time and how I hear how I hear so many mediums say to me, there's no such thing as time. Now, I have my own opinion on this, but I don't believe. Because if mediums say to me, spirits say there's no concept of time, how is it, and it was man-made, which I'll go to that in a minute, if there's no such thing as time, how do they know to come and speak to the medium at 8 o'clock to go live on SBTV? right? So that's one theory. Man-made, time was not made by man. Man figured time out because the planet rotates and it goes from day to night to summer to spring to autumn to winter. It has its seasons. So man figured out how long it takes to go from dark to light, from winter to summer, and so forth. So we evolved in with our knowledge. So we've gained knowledge through time. So it wasn't man-made concept. The planets, the universe, and so forth already had time there. We just gave it a name and numbers. So here's my concept.
Hello,
Here's
Bill.
my thoughts. Yeah, hi, sorry, hi, Bill. Anybody else
Hi,
who's come on?
Bill.
Is okay. This is what I don't understand. When you're in spirit, apparently, we are told that we have a choice to come back or not, if you believe in reincarnation. And part of our spirit, I'll go there in a minute. Part of our spirit, us, stay in the spirit world, which could be our guide. Right? This is what I hear from a lot of mediums. And then we choose to come down, and the other guide, or the other half of us, the twin, let's say, is in there guiding us to a degree. But we've already predetermined certain experiences through our lives. Right? So we say, okay, at a certain age, you're going to experience loss, or you're going to experience hatred, or whatever the case may be. Right? Because you have to learn to grow to be spiritual, apparently. So, but you get permission to do this. Yeah? This is what I hear. So if that's the case, and you have to speak to other spirits about going through an experience. So let's say we think of something, I don't know, that when I'm 52, I'm going to hurt someone. Okay? God forbid that ever happens, but let's say I did. But that person has also agreed in the spirit world for me to do this. So that individual can experience what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's that agreement. You with me still?
Yeah.
Just about.
Okay.
Sort of, yeah.
Right. So if that's the
Veronica
case...
Jenkins, I said this would go straight over my head.
All right. So if that is the case, if that's predetermined, but I still have free will, I've made an agreement, let's say I go to this young lady and I marry her and ruin her life sort of thing, but she wanted to experience that. But then she has to speak to her loved one, say, I want to go through this experience, can you go through it as well? And so they have to agree. And then their grandparents have to agree, their siblings have to agree. So everybody has to agree they want to go through this experience. So if that's the case, let's say she's 20 years younger than me, I have to wait 20 years for her to meet me. And she has to wait 20 years to meet me. So therefore, and then if she's agreed with her parents before she was born, because they're in spirit still, then that's going back about 3 to 4 generations.
I'm going to just agree with Veronica here. She's just said something, and I've actually written it down. And I'm going to stop Richard in full flow because it's going over my head.
Yeah, I never said clock, though.
It's intimidating me, Richard. And that's hard to do, right? But I've just written down like the minutes, seconds, the hours in our day, which is a natural phenomenon, for a natural happening, that we have a dawn, a high noon, and an evening tide, and what have you. But it's us that's invented the minutes, the seconds, the hours of that day. We've split that day down. So even though there is, to me, even though Richard, part of me agrees with Richard that time isn't our invention. It's the minutes and the seconds and the hours that are our invention. How we came to 60 minutes and 60 seconds, I've got no idea whatsoever. Does anybody else have any idea? I mean, but to me, that is the man-made aspect of it.
A clock has been, yes.
Yeah.
Clock's been man-made, but not time.
And, well, yeah, but don't forget, we look at time as in, you know, something that's aging. So as a tree grows or a seed sprouts, we call it over a period of time, it grows and then it ages and dies. So, as you were saying, Richard, you wait 20 years for this, you wait 20 years for that. And the concept of time is to do with our body getting older or growing. Something is born, grow and dies. Where I don't quite agree with the concept that everybody's sitting around the table in spirit and saying, well, when I'm 20, I'm going to meet this person. When I'm 30, I'm going to meet that person. And I think a lot of these, it's all man-made. Like you said, time's man-made. And quite often, our understanding of certain things, either to do with spirit, we put our restraints on them. We put our restraints on them, saying, oh, I'll meet you, I'll do this, I'll do that. And like I say, there's an argument for reincarnation, and there's a huge argument that it doesn't happen as well. So, you know.
Okay, Stacey's made a point there. So, who decided to have breakfast at 8 a.m. and dinner at 5 p.m. Well, you have. And I'm not talking about clocks. I'm talking about time. It's a difference. Man-made is a clock. And yes, I do waffle. It's my channel. Don't like it, get stuff. Right.
Time is how you look at it, isn't it? Time is like we can look at a season as time, or we can look at the moon as time. You know, like the from going from new moon to half moon to 3/4 full moon, whatever. That is another length of time, and it's you know, like there's different aspects of time as well, if you want to go into that, the way I see it.
I can't see old Kelly's comments, but when we're talking about who set out the minutes, hours, whatever, don't forget they used to use the sundials as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it used to be a period of light and a period of dark, and even what was it? Is it
time of
spring
light
forward,
and a time of dark.
Spring forward, jump, fall back, or whatever, or you know, and we put that hour to get more daylight, didn't we? So you know.
Yeah, I've got Alison's comment here.
I missed Alison's comment.
It was Richard will start telling us not to make a cuppa again soon. Well, without repeating myself and waffling, I am a hypocrite because I tell all my presenters to stop waffling and get on with it, and I waffle away here. But there you go, hypocrite. Anyway, so the other night I was talking. I think it was yesterday. We were talking in a Zoom room, chatting away as one does, and I mentioned about psychologists say don't have the same routine every morning because you get yourself into a routine. The body doesn't adapt. You're not doing anything different. It's the same momentum. So I suggest to everybody, look, when you get up tomorrow morning, don't, after you go to the toilet, which is something we can't stop, don't go and make yourself a cuppa. Do something different. And then try and forget about that cup of tea or cup of coffee in the morning. So those who I've spoken to last night, did you change your routine this morning? Or did you do the same thing? Hi, Wendy. Come on, that would be interesting. I bet you they all did the same thing. I bet they all said, no, I couldn't resist it. I had to get up and make my cuppa. But as soon as you change a routine in the morning, the brain starts getting into gear. It starts acting, start doing different things.
This year, I would be married 40 years. And if I changed my routine and didn't make my wife either a cup of tea or coffee in the morning, I'd end up being divorced.
Well done, her.
Yeah.
So look, they're all saying I can't function without my coffee.
Yeah,
I died off first. I waited an extra hour. But did you have a coffee or did you have water? It's all to do with willpower.
Oh yeah, but then I'm a caffeine addict, so to me it's my addiction. So I have to fight my addiction.
Anyway, should we change subject now? Because I'm bored of that.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, we can go back to coffee because let's be honest. The only thing that I was looking at when you were showing all the things with the 2 espressos on the table when we first started. I thought, I wouldn't mind one of those. Anyway, sorry, Richard. What's the next subject?
Well, I'm just waiting to see if Ashley. I sent him a message earlier on. Oh, yes, he has. Yeah, he has. Well, everybody, I can officially tell everyone for the last few weeks, Ashley Robinson and the Robinson family and the Spirit Seeker team, because they all work very hard and volunteer, have had long conversations with myself to discuss about merging or create an event for next year. So all SPTV members, Wimbledon members, the public can all meet up at an event, a 4-day event in Bournemouth. Now, we had this discussion today with our presenters, as some of them are on the channel here, and Mark is herself, and we are going to go forward on March the 4th to March the 7th, 2022. We are going to be running a 4-day spiritual event in Bournemouth. There you go. That's the news.
I'm sorry to laugh, Richard, because we're talking about time and I didn't have any concept of time because I was in the van on that Zoom call and I had to pull up in a lay-by. I was about 20 minutes late.
It's all right. Talking about time, we're being in an event. Yeah. So we've nearly finished with the website, so that will be launched first. If you are a VIP, you will have the link to the new website a few days before anybody else does, which allow you to go in, have a look, see if you want to come along next year. And if you do, you get those extra few days to actually book and reserve your seat, so to say, or your room, I should say.
Well, I can confirm Maureen and I are coming anyway. So.
Yeah, and what I can confirm with everyone, Marcus has just said it there, we've got Matt and Kirsty coming along. We've got Polly Harnett coming along. Sam O'Neill. We have Wendy. We have Deb Clark. That's Wendy Lindsay, by the way. Deb Clark. We have, hopefully, if it can all be sorted, the lovely Rachel possibly flying over from America to actually be with us, if we're allowed to bring people in from the States and so forth. And there's obviously other people who will be coming along, hopefully, and joining us and saying yes. So hopefully most of the presenters that you see on SBTV, our lovely Jane Morton as well, will be here to meet everybody. So we finally have a great big get-together to meet all the viewers, meet all the presenters. There's going to be trance demonstrations. There's going to be a divine service. There's going to be mediumships. There's going to be one-to-one readings with everybody. There's going to be training courses. There's going to be regression. There's going to be so much happening over those 3-4 days. And everything is included. Your food, your drink. And the women are going to love this now. The women who know what I'm going to say, who like their gin, I won't say no names, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. this is, in the morning, it's free alcohol at the bar. So
is there free coffee? Because
there's free coffee as well. There's free drinks, whatever drink you want, it's free. So it's included in your breakfast. So after you've had your breakfast, which is complimentary with it all, you then have some workshops, talks, all free. So if you want to learn mediumship with Matt, if you want to learn about angels, it's Kirsty, and so forth. We're still finalising what's going to happen at the schedule, but these are just ideas we had. Then you'll have a snack lunch, so there'll be tea, coffee, biscuits, and cakes and things to keep you going. Then you have dinner at 5 and 5:40. Then there's going to be a demonstration of mediumship in the evening, and then after that, there's going to be some kind of entertainment. We've approached Sally and Bob, our lovely Sally and Bob from Keep It Real, to see if they can come down as well and do a ghost hunt, or paranormal investigation, I should say, sorry. And that's all the weekend. So everyday breakfast, everyday dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is there a ballpark figure on that price-wise?
£275 that's per person, and everything apart from the one-to-one readings is included.
It sounds like an all-inclusive holiday with the free
It
drink
is.
and the food, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A weekend, basic, and it's all spiritual learning, spiritual teaching, entertainment. So it's going to be great fun.
Scary, Kelly,
Yeah. So you go. That's my announcement for tonight. So 2 good things happened today.
So it'll be the spirit within, then. The spirit within.
The spirit within. Yeah. So spirit seekers. So there you go.
There you go. It'd be fantastic. It will be brilliant.
Should be good. Should be very, very good.
As I was saying earlier on the Zoom call, I've been to Bournemouth with Dave Adams from Northampton, and he does it on a regular basis as well. It's a little bit smaller scale, but people have fantastic time.
Yeah.
Just to answer the question, there was just seen that was Julie saying, "Can we bring partners?" Yes, you can bring partners. Because it's literally the sea is right opposite the hotel. That has swimming pool, it has a spa there as well. So if the husbands, partners, or whatever wants to wander off to Bournemouth, go to the town or the city, or go down the beach, they can. It's a closed hotel, which means the general public cannot come on. They can't come in. They can't even visit. If you say, "Oh, I'm in Bournemouth, come and visit me," you won't be allowed in.
Good afternoon, Letitia.
Yeah. So yeah, but if
there sounds cheap, doesn't it, Kelly?
Well, it does with free drink,
Free drink and food and everything, yeah.
Well,
I'll have to see where I am.
Yeah, come along.
Bournemouth.
Yeah,
well, Bournemouth. It depends on which country I'm in for a start.
Well, we're all hoping Rachel can come over,
Yeah. So obviously, if you're coming on your own, see if you can share a room with someone. Put it in the VIP room or the fan base about sharing sort of room who's willing. Yet again, if you're traveling, we haven't finished the website yet, but we do plan to put information up there about flights, trains and buses and taxis and so forth. But so,
it will be brilliant. It will be brilliant, and something to look forward to as well. Because let's be honest, through this pandemic, I think quite often a lot of people just want to go out for a meal, just want to sit down with friends, don't they?
Yeah.
So
Ashley and the team has said. Sorry to keep on about this, but what Ashley and the team has said, they're aware about the financial situation. So what they've agreed is that you pay a deposit of £50 per person for the room. And then they're giving you 9 months to actually pay off the rest of it. And you can pay, I'll pay £5 here, I'll pay £10 there. It doesn't matter how much you want to pay off either. As long as you finish paying by the 11th of December, if there is an issue, speak to Ashley and they'll be very accommodating. So that gives you those months to actually save. And do you need spending money? They're going to have a little shop there, but not really. Because everything's included. What would you need money for? You don't have to worry about food, drinks. It's all there. So if anybody wants my drinks, because I only drink water, they can have them.
Very generous of him, isn't it?
Well, I like to think I'm generous.
I was just thinking I'll just put an intravenous coffee, an intravenous coffee,
So instead of having seen you walking around with the drip, we've got the coffee dripping in.
Yeah. You see some people around with either sort of like an oxygen bottle or something, don't you? When they're suffering, and I'll just walk around with a coffee machine going straight in. That'll keep me going.
What I'd like to know is somebody arranging anything further up the country.
It was talked about going to. Yes, there is. I think Ashley is doing that next year as well. I think he's having 2 events next year. Don't quote me if I could get this wrong.
Sounds good.
But I think he's doing like Stratford or something upon Avon. But don't quote me on that. So,
but the problem is just outside Coventry, there's a place called Meriden, and that's smack centre of the British Isles, nowhere near the sea. That's the problem.
Stratford upon Avon, can we afford it?
No.
Don't quote me on the location.
Stratford's okay, but it's not. I don't think the hotels in and around Stratford.
They're not big enough, are they?
No, except the Welcome, which is a golf course, and that's quite expensive anyway. So
yeah, I just thought somewhere round about like Manchester or that sort of neck of the woods might be.
Suggest it. I think he's looking for ideas.
Blackpool's an ideal place, really, because they've got the big places.
Yeah.
And...
Well, Manchester's a good shout as well, isn't it? Really, because I
had my first doner kebab in Manchester and my first Big Mac. Yeah, how's those for memories?
Oh, wow.
I had a Big Mac for breakfast in Manchester.
Oh, you lead such an exciting life.
It was.
Not too excited because I'm vegetarian, but
Those were the days. How old was I? Early 20s then.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it does sound really, really good, though, Richard, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'll say, Maureen and I definitely.
Well done there. Well done then for arranging it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not me. It's all Ashley and Ashley and the team.
Arranging it. It's not an easy task. Coordinating all this, and probably the worst is still to come with the coordination.
They've been doing it for about 30 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's one of the longest events in the UK, as far as I'm aware. He's been doing it for so long. It started with his grandfather, and then passed off with his father, and then obviously now on to Ashley. But they're all there as a family event. They all get together as a family to discuss the event, and it's all supported by the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. So yeah.
Oh wow! Fabulous.
Yeah, should be fun.
Fabulous.
And I think the deposits have to be in. As soon as the site goes live, you're going to get first, as I say, VIPs going to get first refusal on how to do it. So I'm guessing by the end of this month, it'll all be ready to go live. We've just got to finally tweak it now. And then the site will go live, you pay your deposit, and then that's it, you're in. So yeah, but that will be announced in the VIP room before anything else.
Super.
All right.
Super duper.
All right, so that's it. That's all I've got to say. I just see Mary Dixie. We have our team shirts. Yeah, I actually had Sam O'Neill text me earlier on and said, "Oh, can we get SPTV T-shirts?" I thought, yeah, could do.
You mean us ladies can't get dressed up to the nines?
Well, you can do what you want. I wouldn't. I'd rather hide in the corner. Say, leave me alone. Thank you very much. So yeah, but
this might be the highlight of the year, for some of us.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be like a rock concert, wouldn't it? And then there's Richard there selling his merchandise with his hats and his key rings, Richard.
A cowboy, suit, briefcase sort of thing,
missing all the sales through talking too much.
Yeah. So, Jacey, how did you first? Do you see spirit?
Yes, as a child. Oh God, yes. Not so much see it, but I knew they were there. But I also have a brother that when we were young enough still to not realise there was a difference, male-female, and we used to sleep in the same bedroom, and he used to wake me up. Well, no, I wouldn't be asleep, but he'd be awake saying, Jacey, and I'd go, what? And I'd be sort of tucked into the bedclothes, and he'd go, have you got your eyes shut? And I'd say, yes, because I knew there was something. Then he said, oh, good, because there's a little old lady sat next to your beds. And I was only like 5 or 6. And he's like 18 months younger than me. And we grew up like this, frightened of the dark. I did anyway, because I knew there was stuff there. I wasn't particularly seeing things at that point. You just know there's a presence there. He could see them. And I often say to people, he's one of the natural mediums that I do know that he will not use it. He won't use it because it frightened him. Whereas with me, I sort of stayed with it, knowing that things were there. And I would see things. Like he used to go as well. He used to have to travel in the dark and everything home. And he'd see Roman soldiers coming from Stratford,
Oh,
actually. That way, he'd see Roman soldiers on the old Roman road down that way and things like that. Whereas I just knew things, that sensing aspect of it. And then at a later date, it suddenly dawned on me that the people I was seeing, I used to see people every now and then, and I'd look round for them and they'd be gone. And these people that I was seeing, nobody else was seeing. And then it got to the phase where I was kept awake with them, and I started to try and work out how to get around this. And you need your sleep. They
yeah,
don't.
get rid of them. Yeah, yeah.
We do. And the best bit of advice was a little old medium from Stourbridge Spiritualist Church, Izzy Pugh. Did you know her, Marcus? Did you do Stourbridge?
I used to serve Stourbridge quite a lot, but I don't think I knew Izzy. No.
Izzy Pugh, I'm going back to 1986 when I met Izzy Pugh. She's long gone as well.
Mhm.
And she said, "My dear, you tell them to go away." I
Wow.
should never forget posh accents. You
But,
tell them to
yeah,
go away. And after that, it started to make sense.
yeah. But that's the problem, and I've said it for quite a while, so over the years, when I've been teaching either the psychic or mediumistic
Yeah,
development, you have to have that discipline.
yeah.
I was talking to my daughter the other night, and she had a bit of an experience about 4:30 in the morning,
Mm,
and I says, yeah, but don't make a rod for your own back, because I woke up at, I don't know, I couldn't sleep. Well, one of the few times that I don't sleep, my head hits the pillow, I'm gone. And I was up about half four the other night, and I came down, had a cup of coffee like you do, and then they started communicating. I said, back on, excuse my French, I shouldn't
yeah.
say that word. I said, just get away. I said, no way whatsoever am I going to communicate with you now. And I really just stuck to it, because you've got to have your sleep. You've got to have that separation. Other than that, you end up being a dripping psychic.
Yeah, it's not only that. For example, I had a friend. She no longer speaks to me for some reason. That's probably a different story.
Oh, that's the story everybody wants to hear.
Please do.
But I never found out why she stopped speaking to me. But this would be the lead up to it. She was going through this, like she needed to know about spirit and everything like that, and she'd got three obnoxious children, and she was talking the one day, and her connection to spirit was a bit flaky as far as I was concerned. But she said, "Do you know, I went and picked my kids up the other day, and I sort of went into a trance. I started speaking to spirit, and I went into a trance. And the next thing I know is I'm outside my house." And I went ape. I went mad. I said, "What on earth are you doing?" "Oh, well, I'm only talking to." I said, "No, you're putting your children's life at risk by allowing spirits to do such a thing." And
Well, yeah, but see, I don't think they would. I don't think they would.
it's no, no, you didn't know her.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I think something like that. It would be
Yeah.
more her,
Yes.
me. Look, this happened to me.
Exactly.
Oh, that happened to me. And it's
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
about, quite often, that type of thing. It's all
Yeah.
about trying to get someone to look at them and look at this
Yeah.
experience I'm
And trying
having.
to get
Yeah,
and she was trying to get spirit to come close. That she was the sort that would put herself into a daze and blame it on spirit, that sort of thing.
yeah,
And when she's going like that, it's not fair on her children. It's not fair on other
yeah,
drivers, things like that. At the end of the day, and especially she was so naive with it as well.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
yeah. I suppose naivety has got a little bit to do with it, but then again, it's that discipline, isn't it? Because
yeah,
I think a lot of people want to develop as psychics or mediums, not realizing the responsibility that they have.
Exactly.
And if you don't have that discipline and then have that responsibility, because it's the same as anything, whether I don't know, you can use any profession really. If you're a doctor or a surgeon, you wouldn't take your you wouldn't go into a cafe and say, oh, look at that, let me just start digging into a carpal tunnel or whatever in a cafe, would you?
Gave my first message to somebody in a cafe though.
Oh, did you? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I can remember I'd said my proper message, my first proper message. Like I'd sat in circle on and off and sort of given things up. And then it suddenly dawned on me, and this is what got me working for Spirit, that I'd been to somebody's house and bought a little old Victorian table out of there. And her parents had just passed, the last of her parents had just passed away. And I'd got this table out of the house and with the view, in fact, it's my tipping it's gone rickety now, but I used to use it for tipping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's got 4 legs. And I was doing the Sunday lunch one day. I was at home doing the Sunday lunch, and this woman's face kept coming through in my head, and then this man's face, and then the table, and it was going on like this for a good while. And it suddenly dawned on me why it was going through. I thought, this is somebody trying to connect with Val.
Yeah.
Val, her name was, and it took me. I don't know. For those of you that are listening, it takes courage to go as a stranger to somebody and give a message to somebody in the Black country that is so rigid that, like if they used to cross over the road because they knew I went to the spiritualist church, they used to cross over the road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she had the flower shop. And it took me, and I said to Spirit, I said, okay, you've got this message. You want me to go and see Val? And I said, okay. And I stood in my house and I said, if we get it wrong, you've lost me. I said, if I go and talk to Val and we get it right, I promise you I will work with you and for you. And it took me 3 days. This was Wednesday before I plucked up the courage.
Jacey, but that's the difference. See, you had that conscious cooperation with them, and it was a plan to go there. It would have been totally different if you just met someone and blurted it out without rationale, if you know what I mean. So you had that conscious cooperation, didn't you?
Yeah, I made that decision that if they were right, I made that promise, basically. If they were right, I would work for them. And so it took me 3 days to pluck up the courage. So people, if you think it's easy for us and we get started, it's not that easy doing it first.
It never is easy.
It never is. Even now, like 30 years down the line, I still think, have I got that right? Have I said that right? But I shall never, ever forget. I went in, I said, is Val about? And they said, no, she's in the cafe next door. And this girl, bless her cotton, she got the biggest chip butty you can imagine.
I haven't had a chip butty in years.
Bread, doorstop bread with chips and another slice of doorstop bread. And I said, hi, Val. And she's holding it like that. She said, oh, yeah, have a seat and everything like that. She said, what can I do for you? Oh, God, please. And I said to Val, I said, and I explained this table and this man, and I described the man, and she said, that sounds like my dad's. And I said, I think it was your dad's. I said, and I'm sitting there watching her holding this chip butty like this, thinking, God, what do I say now? And I was panicking. And then all of this sudden, these words came out of my mouth. And the tears, she had to put a sandwich, she said the tears came down her face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd said something about sobbing over the graves. And the tears, she said, Jess, when was this? And I said, Sunday lunch. She said, that's what I was doing last Sunday. She said, I was crying my heart out. And I sat there, and I should never, to this day, I shall never forget this chip butty.
Yeah.
Spirit will make you work.
Yeah.
When you're ready. When
Yeah.
you're ready.
Oh, yeah. I can remember one message I gave, which was to my mum. And now my mum was a hard and fast Methodist, really hard and fast. When I started getting involved within spiritualism, my mum said to my wife Maureen, she said, oh sorry, Maureen said to my mum, "Aren't you pleased that Marcus has found something?" And my mum at that time said, "Yes, but it's not the right thing." So exactly. So she was never supportive and very, very sort of standoffish about it. And I remember going home and visiting in Wales, and I was standing there, and I had a big dilemma because I thought the information that I'd been given was, yeah, it was from my granddad, so I thought the message was from my nan. And I was in this big dilemma because I was just starting off as a medium and everything else, and I was in this big dilemma, and I thought, right, and actually, my mum doesn't believe in this, so I'll use her as a sounding board, saying, look, I've got this information, I'm going to lay it down in a nice way to my nan. How do you think I should say it? And I told her, and I started telling her the information, this, that, and the other. My mum bawled her eyes out, absolutely bawled her eyes out, because the message wasn't for my nan, it was for my mum.
Oh, and you got
And
it right.
And she never spoke about that again. Never.
Oh, but
Never.
that's nice. I know they cry.
Yeah.
And
I am still here, by the way, everyone. Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, you carry on. You carry on.
Oh, God, I've made them cry. And then they said to me, it doesn't matter that you've made them cry. You have touched on something they need.
That's the healing. Healing. I always say
need that to bring that emotion forward.
Especially within a public demo, Deb's on you tonight, and Deb and I have done quite a few fundraising things together, and Deb's out some out and whatever. And I think quite often when we get, and you say, oh, if you get a crier, it sounds silly. It makes you night because there's that release and there's that healing that goes on.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, quite often it's sad tears, but quite often then they come up and say, yes, that was it. And it's the emotion, isn't it?
It's a sense of relief as well, and things like that. It used to scare me to death because not having anybody to guide me or tutor me as such when I first started, I was learning as I was running. And And I'd go back to spirit and say, and it came to me, no, they needed to cry. It's lovely that people are able to relate to something that you know nothing about, but you are talking about. That's what I like about mediumship, that it's not me. I don't have to be involved, but part of me is, because I'm the go-between. I love it. Yeah. I love it. And if I can put into words something that nobody else has been able to put into words, either, from spirit, they weren't able to say it before they passed, because so many of us is arguing and falling out with relations, and all of a sudden they're gone and something hasn't been said. If I can relay that, that's fabulous.
When you just said that, but I can remember, where was it? Erdington. Over in Erdington, there was a church then. Yeah. And I was sitting there with going to see a friend work and all this, that, and the other. And this lady came through. She was giving this information. Said, no, don't want to speak to him. Don't want to speak to him.
I've had that.
Yeah, no. And honestly, she said, but this person there said, I didn't want to speak to him when he was here, and I don't want to speak to him now. And she had a fantastic contact, a brilliant contact.
I had it a slightly different way. I said, she knew the gentleman and everything, the information was right. And I said, well, I don't quite know why he's here. She said, and neither do I. And you sit there and you think, God, get me out.
Yeah.
And neither do I.
Yeah. Sorry, Richard, you haven't said anything for a while.
No, you carry on. I like to listen and just read what the comments are saying. And it does make a change, as Deb said, for me not to say anything.
I could only see half of Deb's comments, so,
she said that you're a horrible person and never believe a word that you say.
Well, she's right. She's right. And I think I've told the story a couple of times because Deb does a lot of charity stuff, and she sorts out a lot of charity stuff. And she gave me a ring this one time. She said, "Oh, Marcus," she said, will you do a demo with me over in Nuneaton? And I said, yeah, go on then. Yeah, okay, one night, as you said, Friday. And I always say, I'll look on the calendar. If it's free, I'll do it. If not, if you've got something else on. And I said, where is it? Thinking, it'd be like a social club or, so a church or whatever. And it was in the back room of a pub. And it was I think it was for Forces Charities, which helped me, was an IMEX Army. And we had a great night. But by God, it was challenging because Friday night, you can imagine, everybody was having a drink in the bar. And this was a little back room. Debbie just put laughs out loud. And we were working. We even worked together. We had two halves as well. And literally, it was raucous in there, but all the noise coming from the bar. But it was a great night. Because there were people there that had never ever seen any demonstration of mediumship whatsoever, and having to fight through the noise and everything else. It was really, really good, really good, really good. And this is why, and I think this is quite often I miss that. The live atmosphere, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm just going to say hello to Abla because she's a friend of mine and I sent her the links. So, yeah. Hi, Abla. Yeah. Good to see you here. Abla. Yeah.
So Jacey, did you, what was the Wolverhampton Church by the Molyneux ground?
Yeah, I used to go there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. That's probably where I saw your name the most.
Derek Jones?
I don't know. I can't remember Derek.
You don't know Derek? Oh, you don't know. Everybody knows Derek. You would.
I haven't been to Wolverhampton for years and years and years.
Yeah. No,
I remember my first demonstration was at Hensford Spiritualist Church. Did you do Hensford?
Hi, Pamela.
Tiny little church, and you were about 3 feet away from the people.
That's like not Ward End. Ward End was the hole.
Ward End's the hole in the wall.
The hole in the wall church, isn't
it? I love that one. Yeah.
Something green.
What did you do? Hall Green.
Hall Green. Can you remember Hall Green in the Alsatian? Yeah. The Alsatian dog.
No, don't remember that one. Hall Green church I did.
There'd be another.
I can't remember. Which church did you? No, I don't remember a dog at the church.
Edward Street in Erdington. I've done Edward Street.
Was that? I can't remember. I thought it's Cherry Street was Nuneaton, wasn't it? Edward Street, the old church building opposite the cafe.
Yeah, you'd go up the street. You turn left, turn left again, You're back where you started.
Yeah, I remember it. The man on the wall painted.
Yeah. And Ash as well, the Association of Spiritual Leaders.
I did Ash before they moved to the church, to their newer premises.
In Poppy Lane.
Yeah, I moved. Yeah. They moved, and I never went back there for some reason. I must have moved out the area again.
Yeah, Paddy and Pat.
Yeah, he's gone now, hasn't he? She's still.
God,
Yeah.
quite a few years
Yeah.
ago. Quite a few years ago.
And Cherry Street was Nuneaton. Was it Nuneaton is Cherry Street?
There's Norman Street, and there was one in Chelsea by the station. Yeah.
Used to do Cherry Street. Yeah.
I just thought
It's a trip like memory lane. This is.
No, I was about to say, I just thought I'll ask how everybody else was out there, and leave you two to it. You know.
But and I think quite often the way in which the spiritualism has grown, especially now with SBTV this last year, reaching so many different people, because going back to the 80s and the 90s, we used to have demonstrations outside churches, from Christians and stuff. It was a bit weird. Oh, can you hear me, Richard?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I've just received a text message saying that Suru has just joined my Zoom meeting. I thought, I haven't got a Zoom meeting. It's a bit late now. It was yesterday.
I think you've gone on mute, Jacey.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Might have been my internet gone a bit slow.
So a big question then, Jacey. Did you know Barbara West?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? That's a pity. That's a pity, because she's in spirit now. She's in spirit.
Yeah.
I'm going to start interjecting here, because this is all going one-sided here, and it's unfair for the listeners. It's just that when you mentioned the names there, it sort of popped in my head about what Jackie Robinson is doing on a Thursday afternoon with her picnic show, and saying all these people that's inspired spiritualism have moved it for the pioneers and stuff. It's a fantastic show if you haven't been watching it. It's a lot of history there. So here's a question for you both and everybody at home. Only one person you're allowed to talk about the name of the spiritualist that's inspired you. Just one name, nothing else.
Wow. Just one name.
Just one name. Which book, person, or anything has inspired you to move you forward into what you believe in? And that's everybody else at home.
That's easy if you mention a book. But a person's different. But if you mention the book, it's easy.
Well, the person's still the book, isn't it? Because I'm on about if the person wrote a book and you wrote it. I mean, so if you wrote it and you read it, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, Silver Birch for me.
Silver Birch, okay.
Because it's all about service. That's the book, but it's not the person. It's not necessarily Morris Barber now.
See, people are saying Julie's saying Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Heidi's saying Doris Spokes. Amanda is saying Gordon Higginson.
I want to say two things about Gordon Higginson. I want to say I like Gordon Higginson. I like the fact that he's sort of got mediumship back up. But as a speaker, I can remember watching Jean Bassett.
Yeah, Jean Bassett. Yeah.
Sitting there thinking, God, I wish I could do that.
Here's another question for you then.
Speaker.
So we've talked about the pioneer, the ones that's inspired you. How about today? What person do you watch and get inspired by now, or thinking that's a good influence?
Who? It's easy for me. It's Rachel. It's Rachel. I just absolutely love the way Rachel works.
Are you on about
there's a lot of media
Galbraith, sorry. Rachel Galbraith, the Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I just love the way I put her on in the background, listening to her. I just love the way she works.
She has this infectious laugh.
A lot of other mediums work as well. So
yeah, it's hard to decide really. I don't. I like Kath. Longton Spiritualist Church, Kath. She's president of Longton Spiritualist Church. Catherine Shirley, because to listen to her talk, and she's just got such a nice way of putting things, and I like to hear her address and things like that. Catherine Shirley.
Entertainment, I say, for not necessarily entertainment, but for presentation where, you know, the audience comes out with a buzz after Mark Brandist, I think, as well. Mark Brandist.
Yeah, definitely Mark Brandist.
Haven't seen him work for years.
Amazing, yeah, very. I remember many years ago, I used to be the medium secretary for a spiritualist church, and for the love of money, you could not get hold of Mark Brandist at all. It was a hard one to find, pin him down, and book him, because he just was so busy, he just didn't have time. And I heard that he was coming to a local church near me in Salisbury. So I thought, right, come on. So I went to Salisbury Spiritual Church. Luckily, I've actually got a message from him, and you were allowed to go and see him afterwards to have a quick chat, but only those who got a message. So I thought, this is my opportunity, and I took it. We had a 5-10 minute chat, and I said, right, now I've got you here. I am the medium secretary for this church. I'm going to book you right now. I'm fed up of you ignoring me. And he did. He booked. And his manager said, you're cheeky. I went, yes, I am, but I'm waiting. You know, I've been waiting for a response.
Who was managing him then?
Oh, this was going back about 20 years ago, so I wouldn't have a clue. That's when he was on his prime, his top, I suppose. And yeah, I booked him for the whole weekend. I booked him for a Saturday night, the Sunday morning, and the Sunday evening in the church, which we very rarely did, but I managed to book him, and he fulfilled, the booking. Great experience, fantastic message, lovely man. And yeah, it's a shame that I don't see him working on going live, because that would be one person I would definitely go and watch live. Just reading what the comments are saying. Christine Davis is saying, Jane and Polly. Pamela saying, Marcus and Wendy, Jack and Rachel Galbraith.
That's my 60th birthday. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see that, yeah.
Yeah. Rita and Derek Jones, Sue Whitcroft and Mark Brandist. Absolutely fantastic friend.
Just for those who are, there's a few out there mentioning about live TV shows. You have to remember, when it's live TV shows and they're talking about the mediums, it is edited so much that everything looks good. I'm not saying the medium isn't. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that working in television myself, everything is edited to make the medium look good with all the yeses. Because what you don't want to show are all the no's. Because what they're looking for is sponsorship, is money, paid ads, drawing that airtime. So if you have a show that's a negative, you won't get it. So it's got to be more of a positive, or something that's going to keep people on the edge of their seat. So most of it that you see is edited. Just thought I'd put that out there.
I think that's why sometimes people are a little bit disappointed when they go and see them for live. In real, they pay to go and see a show somewhere and they're not edited. It's a shame, really, but it happens. It's like you said, they need the sponsorship, and you never ever see what's left on the cutting room floor. But you do when you go and see it all live, and you get people come away disappointed. No, I'm not saying with everybody, but there's a lot of people you hear about, oh yeah, I went to see so-and-so, and what a waste of money. And I'm thinking, well, it's not edited, which is a shame.
It's funny old thing you're saying that, because I, as I say, I'm a very good friend of Mark's, and it was Mark that got me in, sort of when I very first started off to doing a big public demo, fundraising thing. And I saw him at Bedwick Civic Hall, and, sort of went round to see him in the dressing room and all this, that and the other. And in the interval, I was overhearing someone at the bar, and this lady said, oh yeah, choice, a husband might have been Jack, or I can't remember the name, but a friend was saying, oh, that's great, your Jack came through and all this, that, the other. And do you know what this woman said? Oh, yes, that was definitely him, but I didn't like the way he said it. Honestly. So they got the evidence, but I didn't like the way he said it. Oh dear. And I thought, well, you're pushing water uphill with the rake there, Mark. Yeah. But he's a lovely, lovely man, Mark. Lovely man.
Another one I enjoyed working with many years ago was Stephen O'Brien from Wales.
Oh, Stephen. Yeah.
Yet again,
I think I've seen him. Think I've seen him work once in the. I think it was the 80s. Yeah. Or early 90s.
He's running a retreat now, isn't he, in Wales?
Yes,
with
he
Jess.
is.
Yeah.
In Swansea, isn't it, or something? I can't remember.
And yeah, he was. I had the privilege to work with him at King's Theatre in Portsmouth at one point. So yeah, that was an interesting, a wonderful. I won't say interesting. It was a wonderful experience. And I still have one of his books that he sent me, The Gift of the Golden Light. And I'm not showing off, and please don't take it that way. It's something which is dear to me. It was like, I like to think we were good friends, and he actually wrote it and got it edited and produced and all this sort of thing, and sent me a copy and wrote it in it to Richard. All the best, thanks for your support, love, Stephen. And it's ever so nice for me. And talking about books, actually, changing subject, have you heard of David Badacki?
David who?
David Badacki.
No.
He's an American author. He's in New York, and he writes, I think, every book every week. I think he's got so many out there. But I remember years ago, I was hooked on all his books, and it was a set called Stone Cold. And it was brilliant. It was a page turner for me. And he released this book. It wasn't going to be available in the UK on hardback, and I like having a good hardback book. So I actually wrote to him and said, look, I'm willing to pay for this. Can you actually let me know if I can purchase it? I will pay through PayPal or send you a transfer or whatever. But is it possible that, can you send it, sort of thing? And I had my address and all this sort of stuff. And about 3 weeks went by, nothing. There's a knock on my door. As you do, you answer it. That's what doors are for. And it was a parcel. And I thought, what's this? I haven't booked anything. And it was actually a parcel from him, signed by him, said, Dear Richard, thanks for being a fan. Enjoy the book. Oh. I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow. How many authors do that? The sort of thing. It was such a lovely surprise that someone, or his management, I don't know if it's his true signature or not. You don't know, do you? No. And the thing is, but it was the thought that counted for me. So now he's just got someone like myself will constantly buy his books purely because of that one thing. And every book that he has is still a page turner. When I pop the clogs, the family think, oh my God, this man is obsessed by this author. You know what I mean? My book cabinet is filled up by 3 rows of his books. And I still go back. And when someone says, oh, I've got a power cut, it's all right, I've got a torch, I've got a book, what more do I need?
I've just thought that, because I didn't mention the person that most inspired me, and it was Helen Duncan.
Yeah.
That was the most important, I think, when I was first started. And then I think a couple of people put Doris Stokes, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I think it was Doris Stokes took the mediumship to the masses, and Doris Collins, and I really think that was possibly the start, the real start. And somebody's put Gordon Smith is brilliant as well.
Yeah, he's still on the circuit as well, Benny.
Yeah,
he's still on. Yeah.
And getting it out to the masses, it was a fantastic thing.
Isn't it funny that all these names that we're talking about, like Gordon Smith, like Helen Duncan, and all the other names, no one's mentioning like the new faces. I know we've talked about the SPTV presenters and stuff, but you think of how many thousands of people are now on Facebook broadcasting every single day, and no one has mentioned their names. They still relate back to people who they'd be inspired. So if we were like in 5-10 years time, and you're going to turn around and say, can you tell me someone who's going to inspire you? Are you still going to go back to these people like Mark Brandis, like Stephen O'Brien, like Gordon Smith? Or are you going to mention an internet tarot card reader?
I think the thing is that because of the internet now, and it's a different type of media, whereas as a working medium, I don't know, from the 80s and the 90s, people wouldn't think anything of driving for an hour and a half, preparing for 10 or 15 minutes, going in, doing something, and then having to drive an hour and a half back. And that's what mediumship was. And yeah.
This is what I was saying to somebody today, because they've had a falling out somewhere, and he's decided to carry on the internet. And I said, well, I think it's a good idea, because there's a lot of mediums that aren't able to go out and about, but people still want to see them.
Yeah.
And if they want to see them, the internet is going to be the place. And I think that mediumship and the way we run our churches and our meetings, it's the one near Whitney, I forget, Minster Lovell. She's debating whether to go back to the scout hut she was using, or wherever it was, or whether she's getting like 50 people at a time turn up on an meeting.
And I think it'll be a bit of a hybrid, won't it?
Yeah, I think it'll be two ways. You'll get the diehards or the progressive ones. Yeah. No, I haven't thought about writing a book. Thank you, Pamela. I wouldn't. There's too many different stories. That's my opinion. So, and not only that is sometimes I don't feel that I can share what I've experienced, because it might upset other people and what have you as well. So I don't know if you can see that question, Marcus.
I can see part of it. I can see questions.
Have you written a book or thought of writing a book? And that's from Pamela Roger.
Well, I would say, Jacey, to write it, you don't have to publish it. You can, then if you feel like publishing it, you can at a later date. But I think quite often when you're writing things or documenting things, it's a way of, how do you put it, dealing with a lot of the hassle that went on in the past, isn't it? I think it's quite therapeutic at times, just sort of putting things down, But there again, depends on how many. Sorry, go on.
Go on.
Well, as you two are trying to figure out what you're talking about, I'll jump in quick then. So tomorrow night, at 8:00, we have the lovely Kate Green, who's on SBTV. It's her first time with us, so please come along and give her all the love and support to encourage her and make her feel welcome on our family channel. So that's Kate Green tomorrow night at 8:00. And then on Saturday, no, it's not, you idiot, Richard. And then on Sunday at 11:00, we have our Wimbledon Divine Service. And after that, in the evening, we have some dodgy guy called Marcus, I think. He's on doing. Yeah, I know, he never leaves. Doing a VIP night.
Oh yeah, I was wondering then. I just had a bit of a panic attack then. I thought, what? When? What? Yeah, and Sunday. Sorry, it's the second, because it's Jacey. It's every second Sunday.
So for every Sunday, every week we have. If you are a VIP to SPTV, thank you for supporting us as per usual. And what we offer on a Sunday night, one week we have Marcus doing his mediumship development courses in Zoom, and the following week we have Veronica Jenkins, so a big thanks to Veronica again for helping us out, who does the fledgling evenings for all the budding mediums out there who want to come on and practice on our fledglings and our mediums and VIP members and so forth. So that's what's happening. There you go, the end of that. You can carry on now.
How can we follow that, Richard?
Exactly.
The only thing I can say is I do have something happening on Tuesday. Am I allowed to mention it?
No, it's not an advert channel.
Okay.
Go for it. Go on.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it.
I've got it's a freebie, and it's at 11:00 on Tuesdays. And this weekend I've got Kim Moore-Cullen, who's an AFC tutor and everything. She's doing a slideshow on photography for people, spirit photography for non-photographers, with the questions and answers afterwards. So if anybody would like to join, thank you, Richard, for letting me just put this out there.
Well, it was in chat the other day. You're welcome. I was doing lots of adverts, then someone else was doing adverts in the chat, and I thought, this isn't ITV, you know.
Yeah, can somebody read that out, because I can't see all the comments here.
Marcus will always be known to me as the coconut and thyme man. That's from Benny Ty.
Oh, that's because I can't see all the comments. It was running out. Yeah. Oh, with the psychic pantry. Yeah, I enjoyed that the other night. I must admit, I loved it. But this is why I asked if you remember Barbara West, because she was a fantastic medium, very good friend of mine, and she's in spirit, and she started working with me a little bit. And the other night we were doing this psychic pantry thing, and Barbara was there, and she kept and we had this discussion first. She wanted me to speed up, but then one message, I was trying to finish one off, and then they could take the date, so I carried on. So it went a bit too long, to be honest with you. But you know, after I was saying, you got to speed up, Oh God, you used to nag me when you were here. You're nagging me now as well.
Never mind.
But she was lovely.
She must think you're worth nagging.
Oh yeah. But she was a lovely lady, and she started off with the tea leaves thing, you know, and stuff like that. And she used to do sort of like we used to have over to just have a meal and everything else, and she could never ever not work. And I always used to say you need to be more disciplined, but it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun.
Yeah.
But when we were talking, you know, I was saying about rattling some skeletons in my closet the other day. I went in to do a domestic appliance repair, and this lady just started talking to me, and she started talking to me about Mark Grandist. And it was only 2 days ago. And I was there, you know, in my work here with my mask on and all this, that, and everything else. And she was going on. She kept on going on. She was going this, that, and the other. And I says, well, I know Mark. You don't, she said. You know. And apparently she used to go around with Mark, literally, you know, sort of like carrying his little case and everything else, like for years. And I thought, God, the world is so small at times, isn't it? So small.
It is.
Yeah.
Right, young people, I'm afraid that is it for our...
Oh, wow.
I was going to say my show, but I'm going to say your show for tonight, you know.
Do I detect a note of peevishness there?
Say again, sorry?
Dare I say it again, Mark?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
Detect a note of peevishness. Peevish. You're a bit peeved that we've taken over.
Oh no! I think the last fortnight, I think I say what I need to say, get it off the chest, done. The last show we had Richard and Ricky and Tyler, and Jason Rothwell. I think all I said was good evening, everyone. I hope everyone was well. I think that was about it.
Good.
But the show is. Shut up! I'm talking. You've had your this is what the show's about: is to allow people just to talk. That's why it's called Around the Table. It's no topic. There's no subject. It's just talking and having a chink and let everybody in the chat room get involved in the conversation, so they feel part of everybody together. Or they have their own private conversations in the chat room. But it's to bring everybody together, not just sitting there. It's not a them and an us. It's an everyone. Any final comments from you then, Marcus?
I just think that...
Thanks very much. And to Jacey, how about you?
You know, it's been lovely, but the problem is that when you put two people that know people, it's like ships passing in the night, isn't it? When you know, when you're doing the physical churches and demos, you see other people's names on on that board, and you never get to meet them. This is why this is so fantastic. And we were talking about a mutual friend, Colin Moore,
Colin Moore.
And then the other names just go and go and go, don't they? And as I say, it's a small world. Nice world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody that came and watched with us. I don't know how many people we've had joining us, but it's lovely to see at least some people turned up.
And send me a direct message, Jacey, and if you want me to sort of come, chat a little chat
that'd be lovely.
Tuesday.
Yeah. It's very informal. It's about your mediumship and how you got into it and things like that, or and people get the chance to. It's in Zoom. People get the chance to ask the questions. It's very slow to start with, and then all of a sudden the questions start happening. Yeah, and it's 11 o'clock on Tuesday, so
it'll be 11 o'clock by the time you finish talking. Can we end the show?
Thank you very much for the invite, Richard. Thank you.
I know.
Thank you for letting me join Marcus and you.
I'm only messing. I'm just like to have a bit of fun, and I'm very cheeky, as you've probably gathered already.
Oh yes.
So thank you, Jacey, for joining tonight. Thank you, Marcus. It's been great. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.
Okay. I just want to know what happened with Veronica. I missed everybody's going. Oh no, Veronica, and I missed it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, never mind. Oh no, Veronica.
Teriyaki sauce.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.